As I was feeding 7-year-old Luna her pumpkin puree, Marcus, clearly drunk, crashed through the front door. His collar was askew, and a glaring hickey marked his neck. "Grace," he slurred, "someone spiked the drinks at the charity. But don't worry, I've already had my lawyer handle it." I nodded. After years of marriage, he had always had eyes only for me and our daughter. He never messed around. 8 months later, while Marcus was away on a business trip, news of a cruise ship fire flooded the airwaves. I rushed to the hospital, Luna crying in my arms, only to find Marcus, covered in bandages, waiting outside the delivery. "Ava's pregnant," he said. From the gala. I never thought it would happen just once. When the fire spread, she put the life vest on me, but she herself was overcome by thick smoke. His apple bobbed violently. A baby's cry echoed from the delivery, and Ava was wheeled out of the operating room. She clutched at the hem of my dress, pleading, "Ms. Grace, the baby can't grow up without a father." Marcus turned to me, his eyes filled with internal struggle. "Luna needs her mother, but this child." I hugged my trembling daughter tighter, cutting him off with a cold laugh. "Marcus, either they disappear completely, or I'm taking Luna and leaving." His eyes bloodshot, he pinned me against the wall. "I can't lose either of you." On the day of the baby's welcome party, the estate was festively decorated. Luna hid behind me, timidly staring at the twins. I took off my wedding ring and pressed it into my daughter's palm. "Honey, let's go meet your new daddy." As I dialed, Ethan's deep voice came through. "Grace, you've finally decided to look my way. Congratulations. The estate finally has heirs, and twins at that." The estate villa was filled with joyous celebration, and the laughter and toasts from guests rose and fell. Marcus held the two babies, handing out cash gifts in envelopes with a wide smile. Ava, meanwhile, leaned delicately by Marcus's side, accepting congratulations from everyone as Mrs. Marcus. I stood by the door, holding Luna's hand. My daughter cowered behind me, timidly looking at the lively scene. Her simple clothes contrasted sharply with the lavish surroundings. Ava looked up, a flicker of triumph in her eyes as she saw us. "Marcus, Grace, and Luna are here." The banquet hall fell silent for a moment, and all eyes followed her gaze. Marcus's smile stiffened slightly. He handed the male infant to the nanny and strode over. "Grace, why didn't you say anything about coming back? I would have sent someone to pick you and Luna up." I scoffed. Was he really worried about picking me up, or just afraid I'd disrupt their happy family reunion? Whispering rose constantly around us. "Is that the wife from the estate who couldn't have a son for 10 years? I heard she suffered complications from her first pregnancy, rendering her unable to conceive again. If Marcus hadn't protected her, she would have been divorced ages ago. But she left home for 3 whole months with her only daughter to protest Mr. Marcus bringing Ms. Ava and their 2 children back. So inconsiderate. Grandpa's dying wish was for a male heir. If you ask me, the Mrs. Marcus's position will belong to Ms. Ava sooner or later." A hint of triumph flashed in Ava's eyes as she slowly approached, holding the 2 babies. "Grace, from now on, Luna has 2 little brothers. Let them get to know each other." Luna recoiled in fear, and I didn't even have time to stop it. The 2 infants let out loud wails. "Luna!" Marcus almost angrily pushed her away. Luna was shoved to the ground, her knee grazed and bleeding, and she burst into tears. "Marcus, have you lost your mind?" I crouched down, hugged Luna, and glared at him. Marcus, however, ignored me, tenderly soothing the male infant. Ava, wiping away tears, said, "Grace, I know you don't like me, but you can't incite Luna to hurt the 2 babies." If hadn't reacted so quickly just now, Luna would have poked out both babies' eyes. The surrounding guests were immediately indignant. So cruel at such a young age. How is her mother raising her? How can the estate tolerate such a child? I clutched the trembling Luna tightly, rebuking loudly, "Ava, you're twisting the truth. Aren't you afraid of karma, doing this in front of so many guests?" Ava looked at Marcus as if pleading for help. "Marcus, Grace can't tolerate me. Maybe I should just leave the estate with the children." Marcus's face darkened, and a flicker of disappointment crossed his eyes as he looked at me. "Grace, I've indulged you and Luna too much in the past. Since you, as her mother, can't discipline her, then I, as her father, will do it for you." No sooner had he spoken than 2 security guards stepped forward to take Luna. I shielded my daughter fiercely. "Marcus, if you dare touch her, I'm divorcing you." Marcus hesitated for a moment, then Ava suddenly spoke with a sob. "Marcus, the babies seem to be having trouble breathing from crying so much. Let's rush them to the hospital." Marcus's face instantly changed. He violently shoved me aside and rushed towards the infants in Ava's arms. I took the opportunity to shield Luna behind me. Watching his frantic retreating back, a chill spread through my heart. It turned out that, in his heart, these twins were far more important than my daughter and I'll take Ava and the children to the hospital first. As for divorce, don't even think about it. As long as you acknowledge Ava and the 2 children, you'll remain the one and only Mrs. Marcus. Grace, my patience is limited. Don't push me any further. After they left, the guests' whispers surged like a tide. Tisk, TSK. This estate family drama is more exciting than a TV show. The wife losing to the mistress, and even the child suffers because of it. Indeed. From the looks of it, Grace might be completely losing her standing. When a man has a new love and a son, why would he care about his old partner? Luna looked at me, her expression halfway between understanding and confusion, and timidly said, Mommy, is Daddy going to abandon us? It's all Luna's fault for making Daddy angry. Mommy, please don't argue with Daddy because of me. If you divorce, Luna won't have a daddy anymore. I choked up, hugging my daughter and doing my best to comfort her. It's okay, Luna. You'll have a new daddy in the future. But memories from the past uncontrollably surfaced in my mind. Marcus and I dated for 3 years and were married for 8. He had always cherished me. When I suffered complications from my first pregnancy, rendering me unable to conceive again, Grandpa forced Marcus to divorce me. It was Marcus who underwent 99 lashes of the Vance family discipline just to save our marriage. That night at the charity, Marcus assured me, it was all an accident. I've already had my lawyer handle it. But a month later, he returned from a business trip with a missing button on his shirt, claiming it was torn off during a meeting. Later, I discovered an infant ultrasound result saved on his phone, with a photo date exactly 1 month after the charity. When I confronted him, Marcus's eyes darted away. It's a partner's child, I was just holding on to it for them. From then on, Marcus started traveling frequently for work, even missing our daughter's birthday. Until he went on another business trip, and by chance, was on the same ill-fated cruise ship as Ava. Mommy, Luna hurts. My daughter's tearful voice pulled me back to reality. Seeing the beads of blood welling up from her knee, and recalling the angry look in Marcus's eyes when he pushed her, I suddenly felt as though these 8 years of marriage had been nothing but an absurd dream. Marcus had long ago betrayed his vows. During the 3 months I was away with my daughter after a huge fight with him over Ava, he never once sent anyone to look for us. I comforted my daughter, then opened my phone and sent the divorce agreement I had already prepared to Marcus. Sign it. Besides, I want nothing. Then I dialed a number I had blocked a long time ago. Would you be my daughter's father? A deep voice responded from the other end. Grace, you've finally decided to look my way. Wait for me to come back. Hanging up the phone, I picked up Luna and started walking out of the banquet hall. I'm sorry, Mr. Marcus has given instructions. You cannot take the young lady. A security guard blocked my way. I forced myself to open my phone. What greeted my eyes was a new social media post, a photo Ava had taken of Marcus. Thanks to Marcus for bringing me and the babies to the hospital in time, we weren't delayed. The babies and I thank their daddy. A sharp pain shot through my chest, and I felt blood welling up in my throat. Mommy, what's wrong? Luna looked at the corner of my mouth in alarm. Quick! Mrs. Grace is spitting blood. Help take her to the hospital. Everyone scrambled to get me to the hospital, and I remained unconscious for 3 full days. 3 days later, I finally woke up, but Luna was nowhere to be seen. Luna! Someone just said he was the little girl's father and took her away. The nurse's words stunned me, and a bad feeling rose in my heart. I tried calling 3 times before Marcus finally answered. Marcus, what have you done with Luna? What exactly are you trying to do? Marcus let out a cold laugh and retorted, what am I trying to do? The question is, what are you trying to do? You sent Luna to harm Ava's and my 2 children. Do you take me for a fool? Impossible. Luna would never do such a thing. This is all Ava's scheme. I struggled to get out of bed, but the 4-line pulled painfully. Scheme? Marcus's voice was as cold as ice. The security footage clearly shows Luna approaching the crib with scissors, saying she'd get revenge for you. Grace, what a daughter you've raised. I felt as if I'd fallen into an ice cellar. Impossible. Luna had told me not to blame Marcus earlier. From the other end of the phone, I heard the sound of something heavy smashing, followed by Luna's tearful plea, Daddy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt my brothers. My hand holding the phone trembled uncontrollably, and tears streamed down my face. Luna, Marcus, don't touch her. She's only 7. If you want to take it out on someone, come for me. I beg you, but didn't give me a chance to speak. Grace, from today on, Luna will be under my discipline. If you dare interfere again, don't blame me for disregarding our marital bond." The call ended. Ignoring the nurse's attempts to stop me, I stumbled, ripped out my 4-line, and rushed out. No matter what, I had to get my daughter back. But as soon as I burst outside, a swarm of camera flashes surrounded me. Reporters, holding microphones, swarmed around me. "Ms. Grace, we hear you incited your daughter to harm the twins because you were jealous Ava gave birth to sons. Is that true? Online reports claim you're unable to conceive again, and that you tried to eliminate the estate's bloodline. Is this true? Mr. Marcus has already issued a statement holding you accountable. Do you have anything to say now?" I was pushed and shoved, barely able to stand. My phone vibrated incessantly, and trending topics popped up one after another. Hashtag Vance wife poisons illegitimate child. Hashtag Grace driven mad by jealousy. In the photos, the manipulated security footage showed Luna holding scissors, a shocking sight. The comment section was filled with abuse like vicious woman and unfit mother. Only a few scattered voices spoke up in my defense. A husband cheating with his mistress and bringing the children into the home, who could tolerate that? But these were quickly drowned out by the uniform chorus of insults. Suddenly, a black SUV stopped outside the crowd. Marcus stepped out, holding the twins, with Ava following closely behind. Her gaze lingered on my disheveled appearance, a flicker of triumph in her eyes. "Grace, get on your knees and apologize to Ava." Marcus's voice was icy, and the hesitation in his eyes when he looked at me was gone. "Admit that you incited Luna to commit this act and that you hired online trolls to smear my relationship with Ava." "I didn't." I shrieked, my fingernails digging deep into my palms. "Marcus, you clearly know this is a setup, Mommy." Luna suddenly rushed out from behind the nanny, but Ava grabbed her. She twisted the child's arm hard, and Luna's face instantly went pale with pain. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she dared not cry out. A chill ran through me as I looked at Marcus's indifferent gaze. I finally understood that he simply didn't care about the truth. My legs trembling, I slowly knelt to the ground, slapping myself hard across the face. "I'm sorry. It was me who incited Luna. It was me who was jealous of Ava." With every word I spoke, every slap I dealt myself, my heart felt like it was tearing apart. I kept slapping myself, my cheeks swelling badly, the taste of blood spreading in my mouth. Marcus watched coldly, while the twins in his arms gurgled with laughter, as if mocking my humiliation. "Not enough." Marcus suddenly spoke. "Grace, didn't you want to divorce me? Back then, when you couldn't conceive again, I endured 99 lashes of the Vance family discipline just to stay with you. If you can kneel for 99 steps today, kowtowing once for each step as atonement for the 2 children, then I'll agree to divorce you." 1. My forehead hit the ground hard, and my vision exploded with golden stars. Luna's heartbreaking sobs rang out behind me. "Mommy, don't." I didn't dare look back, afraid to see the terror in my daughter's eyes. Ava's feigned words of dissuasion reached my ears. "Marcus, that's enough." But cut her off coldly, let her kneel. After 5 steps, my forehead was already bleeding. Suddenly, clear applause broke out in the crowd. Ethan had appeared nearby without me noticing. His black suit was impeccably tailored, and his gaze was cold enough to freeze. He walked directly towards Marcus. Though not much older, his presence seemed to overshadow Marcus. His tone carried the undeniable authority of a superior. "Mr. Marcus, are you performing some kind of Vance family discipline? Even hitting your own wife?" Marcus's face instantly changed. "Ethan, this is the estate's private business. What are you doing here instead of studying overseas? Do you want me to tell Grandpa again about your coveting another man's wife and have him send you back overseas?" Ethan, however, had already reached my side. He reached out to help me up, but I avoided his hand. Stubbornly, I cowed out again. 6. "Grace." Ethan's voice was laced with suppressed anger. "Look at yourself now." He tore off his tie and gently but firmly wrapped it around my forehead wound. Ethan turned to Marcus, the chill in his eyes almost palpable. "Marcus, don't forget who saved me from the amusement park fire 6 years ago. Without her, do you think Hayes would have partnered with Vance? Your so-called business empire should have been buried in that fire long ago." These words struck Marcus like a heavy hammer, his face instantly turning deathly pale. Alert reporters had already begun to turn their cameras towards Ethan and Marcus. My thoughts involuntarily drifted back to that chaotic afternoon. Ethan had just turned 15 then. As the most favored young master of Hayes, he was invited to attend the amusement park's opening ceremony. Unexpectedly, a circuit malfunction caused a large fire to break out in the haunted house area, and everyone feared for their lives. Luna, who had just turned 1, clutched my hand tightly, sobbing uncontrollably. I could have led my daughter away from the danger, but I saw Ethan in the crowd, collapsed on the ground, choking on the thick smoke. "Mommy, save my brother." Luna's sudden tearful words left me with no hesitation. I took off my coat to cover Luna's mouth and nose, and with one hand, dragged the unconscious Ethan. I dragged him to a safe area before the firefighters arrived. He was burning hot then, and even in his dazed state, he clung tightly to the hem of my dress. After the fire, Grandpa personally came to express his gratitude. Learning that Marcus's company was just starting and facing financial difficulties, he immediately decided to invest $500 million. Dance, which was on the verge of bankruptcy, was revived by this capital injection and grew to its current scale. From then on, the young man's gaze towards me changed. He would always appear at the bookstore and coffee shop I frequented, blushing as he slipped limited edition collectibles into Luna's hand, claiming it was to repay a life debt. It wasn't until his 18th birthday party, when he snuck out with 99 roses to confess his feelings to me, that Marcus found out. Naturally, he got a beating. "Grace, I know you're married, but I'll wait. I'm young, I'll outlive him." Marcus was almost driven mad with rage, about to punch him again. It took a lot of effort for me to pull them apart. Afterward, Ethan was forcibly sent overseas, and I also promised Marcus I would block him and never contact him again. If not for Marcus's infidelity this time, I wouldn't have known who to turn to for help. Seeing about to carry me away, Marcus roared, "Put my wife down," but broke free from Ava's grasp and ran towards Ethan. "Ethan, my daddy's mean. He only bullies mommy with other women. Luna doesn't want him as a daddy." Ethan stroked her head. "Okay, Luna, come home with me." His voice was gentle, but when he turned to Marcus, it was laced with ice. "Marcus, you don't even understand basic gratitude. What right do you have to call Grace wife? By leaving her covered in injuries?" He glanced at Ava and the twins. "Or by bringing your mistress and illegitimate children home, forcing her to leave with her daughter for 3 whole months. Veins pulsed on Marcus' forehead as he blocked our way. "She hasn't finished kneeling 99 times to apologize to Ava and the 2 children. As long as I don't agree to the divorce, she's still my wife. You dare forcibly take someone's wife and daughter? That's illegal. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have the Hayes family behind you." "Illegal?" Ethan sneered. The bodyguards behind him immediately stepped forward, surrounding Marcus. Before could react, a heavy punch landed on his face, and he staggered and fell to the ground. The twins in his arms let out piercing wails. "That punch is for the tears Grace has shed for a scumbag like you these past few days." Ethan held me with one arm and covered Luna's eyes. Immediately after, a bodyguard punched Marcus squarely on the nose. "That punch is from Luna, teaching you a lesson for being an unfit father." Seeing this, Ava panicked and yelled, "Stop." She tearfully complained to the surrounding reporters. In broad daylight, the Hayes family is trying to assault people for a married woman, not even sparing 2 innocent babies. Can those with power and influence really act with impunity? Ethan's eyebrow twitched slightly, signaling the bodyguards to pause. "You, Ethan, don't push your luck." Marcus was pinned to the ground by the bodyguards, his mouth foamy with blood, and the 2 babies wailed loudly on the floor. "Ethan," I called softly, feeling a pang of compassion. Ethan paused, and a smile finally appeared on his face. "Grace, don't worry. I'll make sure these people get what they deserve." The next moment, everyone present heard a ping from their phones. Several reporters who had finished reading the message first, were the first to raise their cameras and point them directly at Ava. "Ms. Ava, online rumors claim you attempted to murder Luna and then framed her for harming the twins. Is this true?" Marcus's struggles abruptly froze, and Ava's face turned ashen. Ethan's eyebrow twitched slightly, signaling the bodyguards to pause. A reporter showed a video on his phone to the crowd. In the security footage, Ava, holding scissors, lunged at Luna, but the young girl cleverly dodged her. She stumbled 2 steps and bumped into the crib, scaring the twins into loud cries. Ava instantly seized the opportunity, gripped the scissors, and pricked the twins' hands, then pressed the wounds close to Luna. Afterward, she shrieked her false accusation. "Luna, how could you use scissors to hurt your brothers? You're slandering me. This is doctored." Ava lunged to snatch the phone, but the reporter deftly evaded her. Marcus suddenly broke free from the bodyguard beside him, grabbed Ava's wrist, and roared, "Was that you?" "Marcus, let me explain." Ava cried, tears streaming down her face. "I just wanted Grace to lose Luna, so she would completely leave you. However, her tearful pleas only earned her a disgusted slap from Marcus. Ethan's lips curved into a slight smile. He held me and prepared to take Luna away. Grace. I didn't know it was a setup. I'll call the police to arrest her right now. Luna is my daughter, let's go home. Marcus stumbled forward, trying to reach me, but a bodyguard kicked him to the ground. He looked up at me, his eyes bloodshot, his voice filled with a panic I had never heard before. I didn't even glance at him, stating calmly, Marcus, when you brought your illegitimate children home, why didn't you consider how Luna and I would feel? When you ignored my pleas and arbitrarily punished Luna, forcing me to kneel and apologize to your mistress, why didn't you think about calling the police to find out the truth? Now, it's all over. What right do you have to ask us to go back with you? Luna also peeked out from Ethan's side and shouted at Marcus, Bad daddy. I don't want you. I want Ethan to be my daddy. Ethan's lips curved into a smile, and he instructed the security guards, clear the area. A black SUV glided gracefully into position. As the door opened, he leaned down and chuckled softly next to my ear. Grace, the children's room at the Hayes family estate is already filled with Luna's favorite dolls. The engine roared to life, drowning out Marcus's desperate cries amidst the reporter's relentless questions. In the rearview mirror, Ava was slumped on the ground. The twins' cries and the camera flashes, together, gradually faded into the twilight. None of it concerned me anymore. Life after moving into the Hayes family estate was peaceful and warm. Ethan constantly found new ways to please Luna. But when he looked at me, his gaze, so tender it was almost burning, made me instinctively want to shy away. Luna had already been tucked into bed. Care for some red wine? Ethan's voice held an irresistible certainty, a contrast to the playful charm I remembered. The shy teenager who used to follow me around calling Grace was now the heir to the Hayes, soon to become its head. Under the warm yellow light, he suddenly took my hand. His thumb gently caressed the mark left on my finger from years of wearing my wedding ring. Grace, why do you always push me away? I nervously pulled my hand back. Ethan, you're going to be the head of Hayes, and I'm just a single mother who's been abandoned. The air instantly solidified. He abruptly stood up, his chair scraping against the floor with a harsh screech. So in your eyes, I, Ethan, am just a vulgar person who only cares about status and position? I opened my mouth, but didn't know how to reply. A hint of disappointment flashed in Ethan's eyes. I've already forced Marcus to sign your divorce agreement. Luna's custody and all the assets under your names now belong to you. You can live in peace from now on. In the following days, Ethan left early and returned late. Even when we met, it was just a brief greeting. Looking at the empty villa, I felt as if a part of my heart had been hollowed out. Luna suddenly ran over, crying, Mommy, did you argue with Ethan? I heard Butler say E.T. Han is going back overseas. I froze, my heart feeling as if it had been seized and squeezed tight. I frantically rushed to find Ethan, but on the way, I ran into someone unexpected. Grace! Marcus burst out from a black car parked nearby. In half a month, he had grown a scraggly beard, and his eyes were bloodshot. I knew you still had feelings for me. Ethan isn't trustworthy, he's going back overseas. You came out looking for me, didn't you? Where's Luna? Let's take Luna home with us. I stepped back half a pace, the bustling downtown shopping district behind me. Marcus, however, pressed closer, suddenly reaching out and grabbing my wrist. Grace, let's get remarried. Luna can't be without a father. I swear I'll only be good to you from now on. The strong smell of alcohol on him made me nauseous. I struggled desperately to shake him off, when suddenly I heard a scream. Ava appeared from nowhere, her curly hair disheveled, her fingernails almost poking my face. Well, Grace. Cohabiting with Ethan on one hand, and seducing Marcus on the other. Everyone, look at this homewrecker. The onlookers' chatter exploded instantly, and phone cameras were pointed at us. She looks so gentle and demure, but she's too timing and acting as a mistress. People nowadays have no morals, they'll do anything for money. I heard that man is the CEO of Vance. Who knows how she bewitched him? How pathetic for the original wife who came looking for him, she looks so wronged. Marcus released my hand as if burned, and Ava seized the chance to hug him, crying out at the top of her lungs, Marcus, you can't abandon me and our 2 children. Grace doesn't love you at all. Upon hearing there were 2 children, the crowd's condemnation of me grew even stronger. I was already anxious about the news of Ethan returning overseas, and now, in my distraught state, I actually coughed up a mouthful of blood. Get out of the way. A familiar, cold male voice rang out. Ethan walked in from outside the crowd. After seeing my condition, his eyes instantly filled with a fierce intensity. Ava immediately switched to a delicate demeanor, pushing Marcus aside and stepping forward. Mr. Ethan, you're finally here. Grace is too timing, and she. Shut up. You're not in a position to slander someone who belongs to me. Ethan stepped aside to avoid her touch, then carefully helped me up. He turned to Marcus, his tone as sharp as a blade. Mr. Marcus, if you harass my fiancé again, the Hayes family won't hesitate to bankrupt Vance today. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. This man is so handsome, is he a celebrity? A celebrity? No, that looks like the young master of Hayes. Hayes? That's a force that can shake the entire business world. So, Mr. Marcus was audacious enough to harass his fiancée. Marcus stared incredulously at my hand clasped in Ethan's, his entire face contorted in a grimace. Impossible. Grace and I are married, she's clearly my wife. Ex-wife, Ethan corrected him. I personally delivered the divorce certificate to your home just now. Please don't disturb us anymore. Marcus's face instantly went pale. He looked at me with a pleading expression. Grace, you're not going to marry him, are you? Luna still needs me as her father. Ethan's expression remained unchanged, but he tightened his grip on my hand. I shook my head. Marcus, you don't deserve to be Luna's father. His pupils constricted, and he stumbled, trying to touch me. Grace, I'm sorry. I was misguided back then. If you just come back, I'll break things off with Ava immediately. Can you really break it off? I coldly chuckled and threw a stack of documents at Marcus's face. Your 2 children were born to you and her during your marriage to me. On the day of the charity, when Ava drugged your drink, the security footage captured it all clearly. You were right behind her then, you saw her subtle movements, yet you still smiled and accepted that drink. Even the room where you had sex was booked by you in advance. What's more, afterward, you met her many times under the guise of business trips. Take a good look at the evidence you left behind. The crowd of onlookers immediately burst into chatter. So it turns out these scum of a man and a scheming woman were involved first, forcing a divorce, and now they have the nerve to blame her. Marcus stood frozen. Grace, you knew all along. Yes, indeed. If it weren't for my daughter, why would I have endured until today? But my repeated tolerance only brought me heartbreak and pain. I looked up at Ethan, my eyes burning. Ethan, I always felt I wasn't good enough for you. I'm just a single mother who's been abandoned, covered in scars. But you're the future head of Hayes, with an immeasurable future. I took a deep breath, mustering the courage to continue, but you stepped into my life again and again, giving Luna and me the most steadfast support. Compared to someone who can't even face his own mistakes, you taught me what true love and responsibility mean. Thank you for giving me the courage to believe that I, too, can have happiness. Ethan, I will marry you. Ethan's Adam's apple bobbed violently. He raised a hand and gently wiped the corner of my reddened eye with his thumb. His voice hoarse, he said, you should have said that a long time ago. Fine. Ava's face contorted with rage. She suddenly shrieked and pulled out her phone. You think this is over? Grace, look who this is. My pupils constricted. On the phone screen, Luna was tied up in a dilapidated warehouse, her face streaked with tears. A voice, distorted by a voice scrambler, came from inside. Want your daughter? 1 hour later, meet us at the abandoned factory on the outskirts. They're threatening a child. That's too much. Angry accusations erupted from the crowd. Call the police. Call the police. Amidst the cries of alarm, police sirens sounded, growing closer from a distance, but Ethan and I had already rushed out. The black SUV sped along. Ethan freed one hand to tightly clasp mine. Trust me, Luna will be fine. I nodded, choking back a sob. The iron gate of the abandoned factory on the outskirts was kicked open, revealing 3 men in skull masks inside, metal pipes in their hands still dripping blood. I almost fainted. Luna was huddled in the corner. When she saw me, she only managed a weak mommy. Let the child go. I'll pay whatever you want. Ethan's voice was laced with unconcealable fury. The leader, however, said arrogantly, Mr. Ethan, what we want today is for you to die with us. He suddenly pressed the remote control in his hand. Ethan reacted with lightning speed, shielding Luna and me with his body. The moment the explosion rang out, I saw blood erupting from his back. Ethan. 3 months later, the truth finally came to light. It turned out that everything was secretly orchestrated by the Hayes family's long-standing rivals. They bribed high-ranking prison officials to release Ava and 3 death row inmates, meticulously planning this revenge scheme. Upon hearing the news, Grandpa immediately stepped in to handle the situation, which was the only thing that allowed me to maintain some semblance of sanity. In the hospital room, Ethan remained unconscious. For 3 months, I meticulously prepared nourishing soup every day, cooling it bit by bit with a small spoon before gently feeding it into his tightly closed mouth. Sometimes, I would sit by his bed and tell him about interesting things that had happened recently. Luna's injuries had healed. She had started elementary school and often brought new friends home. But the first thing she did every time she came home from school was to visit Ethan. "Ethan, when you wake up, can we go to the amusement park and ride the merry-go-round? I saved you some of the strawberry cake I bought last time." My daughter's voice gradually became choked with tears. I turned my back to wipe my eyes, but then I heard a faint MOV. It meant behind me. The medical monitor suddenly beeped. I spun around quickly and saw Ethan's fingers twitch. "Don't cry," he managed to utter 2 words, his voice raspy like sandpaper, yet it instantly broke me. I tightly gripped his hand, as if letting go would mean he would leave me again. When the doctor arrived to check on him, I was on the phone with Grandpa. The old man's voice held an unconcealable tremor. "Ethan's awake? I'm coming over from the family estate right now." I stood in the hallway, my heart filled with both joy and trepidation. Joyful that Ethan was finally awake, yet apprehensive about how to face Grandpa. 15 minutes later, Grandpa arrived, leaning on his cane. His wrinkled hands trembled as he placed them on Ethan's hand. "It's good that you're awake, so good." He turned to me. "Good child, you've worked hard these past few months." In that moment, I saw gratitude and approval in his eyes, and my inner turmoil instantly vanished. Just then, hurried footsteps echoed through the hospital corridor. Marcus, reeking of alcohol, pushed through the crowd, waving a faded photograph in his hand. It was a family photo. "Grace, you can't marry anyone else," he roared, struggling desperately as the security guards held him back. "Vance is the family business we built together. You can't just let it fall into the hands of the Hayes." Grandpa motioned for his bodyguards to take him away, and Marcus's curses gradually faded as he was led down the corridor. The old man suddenly cleared his throat. "Grace, before Ethan fell unconscious, he was still talking about wanting to marry you." I froze. Ethan, who had just finished his checkup, squeezed my hand tightly. "Grandpa's right. I had a dream while I was unconscious, a dream where I saw you walking towards me in your wedding gown." His eyes, as he looked at me, were full of tenderness and resolve. "All right, but only after you've fully recovered." I reluctantly agreed. Luna, standing nearby, happily jumped head up and down. "Yay! Luna's getting a new daddy." In the days that followed, the entire Hayes family was immersed in the joy of wedding preparations. The wedding was incredibly lavish. From the venue decorations to the guest list, everything demonstrated the Hayes family's immense importance placed on it. Luna, holding her flower grow basket, skipped ahead to sprinkle petals. I walked arm in arm with Ethan, heading towards the priest amidst the blessings of the guests. Out of the corner of my eye, Marcus's seat remained empty. It was left open out of respect for him being Luna's biological father. After the last media exposure, Vance plunged into an unprecedented public relations crisis. Coupled with the Hayes family's discreet intervention, former partners abandoned Marcus, and shareholders made a mass withdrawal of investments. The corporation collapsed overnight. Unable to cope with such a blow, Marcus spent his days drowning his sorrows in alcohol. He eventually died in a drunken brawl. Ava was sent to prison again, this time to a maximum security island facility designed to prevent escapes. Her twin children were also sent to the orphanage. My heart was finally at peace. All the past pain had gradually faded with Ethan's appearance, and I was finally about to begin a brand new life. I smiled and exchanged a knowing kiss with Ethan. "I do." He placed a new ring on my finger. "My wife, I will protect you and our daughter, forever and ever. We will always be the happiest family." Sunlight streamed through the chapel's windows, bathing our vows in a golden glow. In the distance, Luna was being lifted high by Grandpa, their laughter filling the air. In that moment, I knew I had finally found my own happiness, and the days ahead would surely be filled with love and laughter. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time.